What up, everybody? So starting off this review video with a video sample, and this is the main camera and how it looks when it shoots video. I'll record a little bit as I'm driving down the road, and at the next stop, not the next stop, probably here in a second, I'll probably, cameras is not the only thing that makes a great smartphone. I know a lot of people are interested in cameras when it comes to smartphones, regardless, and that's just because people like being able to record video or take pictures when they go out and about. All right, so this is the selfie cam in video mode, audio from the microphone directly itself, and yeah. So continuing on, besides the cameras, there are a lot of other wow factors with the Celero 5G Plus. Now, just to kind of be, offhand and straight up with everybody, the actual company that manufactures the Celero devices is a company called WingTech. And yes, some people may not have heard of WingTech, but you have seen some WingTech devices because that WingTech basically specializes in building devices that are meant to be carrier branded phones. So like, T-Mobile and the Revel is another series that is built by WingTech. All right, so everybody, this is the Celero 5G Plus. This is actually a pretty solid device from WingTech. I have to say this. And the reason I'm saying that is because it is very rare that you have a device that is an upgrade from a previous generation, and that previous generation, which was this, you can definitely see with these two that it is a really, really big step up. Not as the body style or any of that stuff, but really, just more importantly, the software, the hardware components that's used to power the devices. All those are upgrades. Even the cameras. You can take a look at those camera sensors and see that there's a huge difference between them. So I'm going to talk about them in this video. And if you guys want to know like what the specifications are and things like that, check out my first impressions video. That pretty much goes over to like the chipset, amount of RAM and stuff like that. You'll hear some references in this review to those, but if you want like the rundown, just check out that video. I'll link it in the description so you guys can check that one out. And I'll probably put the unboxing video link in there too as well. Now, WingTech builds the Celero. That's something that, you really kind of have to like look into it to find out. WingTech, like I said in the opening intro, is a company that builds devices that are carrier branded devices, right? Celero 5G Plus, Celero basically in the name itself, is Boost Mobile's branded phone, just like the Revel is T-Mobile's. So WingTech builds these phones for them. And I have to say, it is a step up. It's way much of a step up. The design hasn't changed from the original Celero 5G, but yeah, you'll definitely see and feel some differences when using this. First of all, the screen display itself is very responsive. They switched it up from using that teardrop, notch for the selfie cam and just went with the, punch hole cutout. That looks, to me, I don't know. This looks better than a teardrop, but the teardrop notch is not bad at all whatsoever, right? And that's very minor things when you want to talk about a device. The screen display is huge. This is a big phone. At least for me, it is. Some people that are much bigger than me, that have bigger hands than me, are gonna find this phone comfortable to use and find it like kind of like the Goldilocks. You got a 7-inch display there, but for someone that's short like me, got small hands, this is a big phone. It's like holding a TV. Like when I watched that movie Chef, and the guy, the beach patrol officer wanted to take a picture with the chef on the food truck, and the guy's like, "You got like a flat screen TV here." Like that's how I feel about this phone. It's a very big phone, which means that watching movies and stuff like that should suffice. Should be very decent. And playing games on here, you have enough screen real estate to be able to play games and whatnot. So that having a bigger display, has its pluses and its downs. Just really just depends on you, the user, and how you feel about certain things. Um, Besides that, it is running a Qualcomm Snapdragon 695G, which is a lot better than using a MediaTek processor in my opinion. Like MediaTek, their flagship chipsets seem to be running decently, but when it comes to their budget and mid-range chipsets, they don't perform very well. Um, they do okay, in certain areas, but then when it comes to like really kind of just like using your smartphone and getting it, using multiple apps and stuff like that, kind of throwing some weight on it, and it buckles under pressure with MediaTek. With Qualcomm, smooth experience. So the 695G does great on here. I have no complaints about that whatsoever. Um, you got one speaker down there that fires out sound. The top speaker fires out sound, but it's very, very, you know, very, very dim sounding. So like if you block the bottom speaker, you'll definitely hear sound out the top, but it's like very, very dim. Most of the sound is projected from the bottom firing speaker. So audio and stuff like that is going to be like one of those hit or miss type things. Now, I would say this is an upper squawk box when it comes to actual sound. Than it actually being like, what I would say is, a right up there top notch stereo sounding speaker. But again, for a device that I think right now currently goes for 150 bucks, really can't complain to that fact. Wow, people are just like kind of driving around, so excuse that. Right. So right now I'm about to run the speed test on here so you guys can see. I have it well, it's connected to Wi-Fi. I'm gonna take it off Wi-Fi and just have it completely connected to LTE. So let's do that right now. And while I'm doing that, yeah, as you can see, it is connected to band 66. I have Boost Infinite in this device. I believe this is one of the devices that's budget range that will take advantage of Dish Network's full network capability. So like with the Tri-Network SIM card, it will access Dish's native 5G, and it should do it nicely, as well as connecting to AT&T and T-Mobile's. I'll show you all the bands here in a little bit, but let's go ahead and run a quick speed test. So you guys can see now, the point of this is not to say how fast the data speeds is. It's just really just to kind of show you like the quality, connection, and whatnot. So this is on LTE, like LTE only. I forced it on LTE, so it's not going to pick up 5G. And then it's not, that's not bad at all. 77.2 down, and we're looking at like 16 on the up. That's actually pretty decent. So, no, I didn't want to double click the ads. Let me, nope. Well, there's camera. You guys have already seen that. So let's close that out. Yeah, I think it handles fairly well when it comes to network connectivity and speeds, being able to, do things requiring a mobile data connection without it actually losing connection or struggling or any of that stuff. Again, shockingly, with this device being at what it is a mid-range device, mid-range entry level with Boost Mobile. So that's something that I think they did very well on. Very impressed already by the device itself, and it's one that's kind of growing on me. To be quite honest with everybody, it is really growing on me. I'll switch hands here for a sec. And that's just because, I find myself throwing my SIM back into this phone and just having a great experience with it. So I'll get more towards that towards the end of this video. And hopefully at this point, you guys went ahead and smashed the like button to help circulate this video so more people can see it and hear what I have to say about it. As well as if you're new to the channel, subscribing to it, because I would deeply appreciate that. All right, so with the caveats to this phone that I want to kind of get into, the caveats. One of the ones, which is like, again, this is just personal preference to me more than anything, but you guys might find it also the same. You guys might feel the same way about it, so I'm just going to make mention of it. But the Celero 5G Plus, the operating system, it's running Android 12. There's no news that, it's going to be updated to Android 13, and it's very, very, very not likely to happen. And this is such a sad thing because, You have a lot of you have a lot of companies that's trying to keep up with it, right? Like Google keeps their pickles. Hashtag Google Pickles if you made it this far into the video. But Google keeps its Pixels up to date, security updates, as well as giving it at least 3 software updates. And Samsung is promised 4 software updates and 5 years of security patch updates. And there's companies that are like not making a guaranteed promise to that, but they are trying to keep to that type of timely releases. But like the Solero, I don't see it getting Android 13 when I think that, you know what, more than likely this device should have launched with Android 13. The operating system itself doesn't cost money. Like when you get an update, you don't pay for an update. So for them to throw this device on Android 12 didn't make sense to me at all whatsoever when Android 13 was available and capable. So I'm not entirely sure why they went that route. Even the birders agreeing with me. They're like, what? But yeah, they should have had this thing on Android 13. That way, people that buy this phone are not looking towards that update because I haven't heard anything, seen anything that even talked remotely about this device getting Android 13. When it comes down to it, just for reference, I also have the Solero 5G, the original, and as you guys can see my screen is cracked, right? It got damaged. It's still usable, but it got damaged. But anyways, point that I'm showing this for is because this is still running Android 11. It has not received an update to Android 12 at all. The last update this device received was last night, which gave it the January, February, and March 2023 security patch updates. So that was just like weird and all in itself. But when it comes down to the Solero 5G Plus, one security patch is actually what I got when I first got the phone, and that was it. So yeah. Now, is this device customizable in the sense of being able to flash a custom ROM? Well, I am seeing some developer pages be built with people adding in things. Possibly there might be some custom ROMs you can flash on here, maybe getting it to Android 13 or even possibly Android 14. We just have to see. But as of right now, there's not really much support. Um, One of the huge things that I really kind of want to emphasize here, right? Not going too much into what other videos that review this device like to go about. So just to be quite honest with everybody, this is a very good phone. This is a very good phone. It's not your Samsung Galaxy. It's not your Google Pixels. It's not an iPhone, but it is still a very good phone. This is a phone that I would say that you should have no problems at all whatsoever rocking and actually feeling, proud to own one. Um, the build quality and everything like that is like, it's like a mystery to me. Yes, the back of this phone is glass. It is confirmed because I've seen people on various websites trying to sell their Solero 5G Plus because they dropped it and the back is cracked. So this is glass back here, even though it sounds like plastic and feels like plastic to a degree. So kind of lightweight. So while this phone is kind of heavy, the weight all comes from the internal components to the phone, the battery, the board, everything, camera sensors and whatnot. All that adds to the weight of this thing. The body of the phone is the last thing that is adding weight. So that's kind of crazy. The fact of, they try to go with a modern style look to it. I know some people are going to be like very iPhone-ish. And yes, a company, might design their phone to look similar to another one that's very popular because they want people to look at this phone. The Solero is one of those phones in the same boat that the Google Pixels was in like 5 years ago. They're wanting to get people hip to the fact. They want people to be like, they come into the store to buy this phone because this is the phone they specifically want to buy, not this is the phone they're buying because it's affordably cheap. And I honestly feel like that Solero can do that. They maintain what they're doing, bringing the next generation with better specifications, a reason to upgrade to it. Will do Solero branding just fine if they did that. Now, I don't want them to really kind of like try to follow a lot of the main big companies as far as like the things that they do, because then that would tarnish a brand that is trying to get itself its own recognition. My experience with it has just been great. When I have this in my pocket, I don't feel like it's a hindrance to have something that's a non-pixel, or even comparing it to the mid-range Samsung Galaxy A53. I don't feel like that I need to grab that phone and use it because it's a better experience. When I have this phone in pocket, it delivers an amazing experience. Android is optimized very well on it. The Snapdragon 695G is solid at getting things done that I want done. The cameras have taken a major step up from what the previous cameras was. Battery life is tremendously well. I get a good amount of time on this on a single charge. It's just awesome in all areas. If you were to ask me, is this something that you should consider picking up if, you know, you don't want to spend over $200, then for sub $200, this is definitely worth a pickup. And you won't feel a very bad hindrance to it. Lastly, you can always download custom ROMs, but custom launchers. Custom launchers are the thing that, a lot of people tend to want to do on Android. It's one of the big customization things. And so that would be something I would say if you're very OCD like me when it comes to the app drawer, because if you use the native stock launcher, the app drawer is going to be unalphabetized. It's going to install apps the way that they've been, well, when you install apps, it's going to organize them the way you've installed them. So they will be out of alphabetical order. They're timeline ordered, and there's no option to, birds are flying around me. There's no option to set it to be alphabetized. So that's something that I do want people to understand. So if you're very OCD about your app drawer and stuff like that, you definitely want to go and get like a third-party launcher like Nova, or even like the Pixel Experience launcher for Pixel 2 XL, which I have on here. That's the launcher I'm using. Yeah, very big phone, so you got to find that fingerprint sensor. But yeah, this is not the native launcher. This is the Pixel 2 XL launcher. I like using it on there just because it keeps things organized. So I know if I'm looking for Gmail, it's going to be halfway through. If I'm looking for Zep, it's going to be at the very bottom. I don't have to kind of like read each app to find them because they're out of order. So in all, like I said, a very, very good pickup. If you're very interested in this device and you're thinking like, hey, you know what? Like it looks solid, it looks good, but how does it perform? Then I'm telling you right now, this phone performs very well for everything that I do, from watching video content to just basic social media, uploading apps and getting things done, as well as making content, recording video, editing with CapCut. All those things work flawlessly well on this device, and I'm very happy that Boo sent this out to me to review. That way I can let you guys know how and what I think about the phone. So if there's anything else about the Solera 5G you would like me to know, or like would want me to find out for you, leave a comment in the comment section. I will use the questions in there for a follow-up video, maybe a month or two from now. And so that's it. Thanks for checking out this review. Again, my name is Tito, and I'll talk to you on the next one. And as always, aloha.